What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about quote unquote it bags that luxury handbag collectors should have in their collection, in their closet. Now, this is just my opinion. And of course, I also did get some inspiration from the it bag video that Vogue made on their YouTube channel. But again, this is my own personal opinion. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So the first bag that I want to start off with is one that everybody's seen, and it's been around for many years, and it's one of the most iconic bags, I think at least, for today's time. It's called the Louis Vuitton Speedy, whether it be from the 25 all the way to the 35, 45, etc, etc. I don't care. I do think that every collector needs this bag. This bag was first introduced in the 1930s under Louis Vuitton. And I do think that this bag is one of those bags that just goes with every single outfit. I personally don't have a 35, but I do have the Nano Speedy, which you guys have heard me talk about in almost every single video. And this is one of my favorite. I just got this a few weeks ago. Like I said, it is a vintage one. I don't know when this was created, but yes, not really ideal for an everyday use, but I do think that every collector does need to have any type, whether it be a Nano Speedy or just a regular type of Speedy. I do think a collector needs a Speedy in their collection. Now, the next bag I would say, and I'm not ranking these, by the way, I'm just saying what I think every collector should have, is the Gucci Dionysus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, so correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know. Super mini bag or small bag. This was originally introduced in 2015. I just recently purchased this one, the mini bag, back in June. I purchased it in June. I love it. The only thing is that it is too small for it to fit my phone, and it's gonna be this one right here. Now, okay, the thing about this one is that this one was, again, it's a fairly new bag. It was fairly introduced in 2015, and a lot of people say that you shouldn't invest your money in this one just because it was more of a trend at the time rather than it being an actual it bag. I personally think, on the other hand, this is a very iconic style. On top of that, this is the traditional monogram for Gucci. So I do think that this one would be worth your money. This was $823 if I'm not mistaken. I could be very wrong. Hold on, let's look that up actually. So this one was $830, which is a pretty good price considering it is Gucci, and the chain's super heavy, and I love this horseshoe. I think it's a moment, but again, there's other fashion icons out there who don't agree with buying this bag, and they say that it's kind of a waste of money. But in my opinion, I would make any outfit look really good. The next one I want to talk about is the Gucci bamboo bags. Literally the ones that have become some of the most iconic bags in history. And the reason why this was created during World War II actually, was because it was a shortage of materials. So they didn't have the necessary materials in order to make these luxury bags for these higher end clients. So they started using bamboo. I think these bags are beautiful, and I think this is really innovative, and it later became an it bag, and I think every woman or man should have this in their collection. Again, just my opinion. The next one, we're gonna jump back to Louis Vuitton, and this was when Marc Jacobs was a creative director there. He did some really great looks, and he's doing some actually really good stuff with his own collection right now, I think. But during this time, this was his peak, in my opinion, at least. Don't come for me, this is just my opinion. It was when he collaborated with Steven Sprouts on the graffiti bag in 2001. Oh my god, literally the most iconic bags ever. Yes, I want one so badly. I haven't been able to find one that I have just fallen in love with, but I do want one of the Speedies that's a graffiti, and specifically the green graffiti. The green graffiti. That's a little bit of a tongue twister there. The green graffiti. That's what I want. But yeah, so I haven't found that yet. So we'll see if we find it. But the reason why Marc Jacobs did this was just because he wanted to stand out from the crowd, and again, make this bag iconic in order to stand out from the crowd. The next bag, again, is Louis Vuitton. It was when he collaborated with Takashi Murakami, who is a huge artist. he still is amazing. Some of his art is, you know, just groundbreaking. I think it's beautiful. But this is when he collaborated in 2002, and actually it was when he introduced the 33 different colors of monogram that they offered with a white or black background. Oh my god, another iconic look. I'm still trying to get my hands on one of those. It's so difficult, guys. I'm not even joking. Like, ugh, I can't even explain to you. But again, this is just a side note, by the way, guys. These bags, I can link like the different websites that I use to buy my used bags from. Every single bag that, you know, I'm talking about today is going to be on this website. Yes, sometimes like the exact bag that you want is not going to be there, but I can guarantee you something similar, or, you know, if you want to wait later on down, they might have it later on. Nevertheless, it's going to be linked down in the description below. Okay, so the next bag, and I think at this point now I'm just going from youngest to oldest now for the order, was the Dior saddlebag. It was first introduced in 2001 by Galliano. Literally an icon, one of the most iconic bags that we have till this day. And of course now like we see like this like matte finish to them. Now we see like this gunmetal hardware, you know, this matte hardware, and these bags are truly to die for. The practicality, in my opinion, is not there, just because, again, it's kind of hard to fit stuff in there, as far as like I know from like my friends who have the saddlebags. But I don't know, I would still pay money to get one because, again, it's an it bag. Everyone needs it in their collection. If they're gonna have a big collection of bags, Dior saddlebag for sure needs to be in it. The next one would be the Prada Backpack 9-1. It was introduced in 1984. This was just really used for like the functionality of it all, because at the time it went from like, you know, using like small little bags to having those big backpacks, having those big bags. And on top of that, Prada was using that like nylon material, so it was something completely different. Now like we kind of look back and it's just like a vintage look, you know, that looks really, really cute. But I do think that this was groundbreaking, and honestly it was just so innovative that the fact that they use like a nylon material rather than the natural leathers that, you know, you see. Of course with the accents they use Saffiano leather, but still they had that nylon as a majority, actually saving some like animals, and didn't have to kill as many animals to make these bags, so that's always a plus. But yeah, again, it's a great bag, great for functionality. I want one, have been able to find one. It's fine, it's fine, fine. The next bag is a Fendi baguette. Now guys, let me tell you a little story. I was gonna get this Fendi baguette from, you know, the Fendi website in June. Tell me why I call, and I'm like, hi, yeah, like, do you guys have this bag, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh no, it's actually in Europe right now, unfortunately, but we're not doing any sales overseas, and we're not shipping overseas. I was like, oh, okay, that's totally fine. Are you gonna get a restock anytime soon? And the guy was like, no, this bag is like done. This was like last season's, we're not gonna get a restock. Tell me why, after I buy the Fendi bag that I just bought in June, they get a restock the day after the last day I would have been able to return it for the baguette. Tell me why. Anyways, I was very upset about that, and I'm still upset, as you can tell, but it's fine. It's fine. Nevertheless, this Fendi baguette was first introduced in 1997. This one, the reason why it was so iconic was just because it used different colors, different materials, sequences, etc., etc. So over time, it actually became more of a collector's bag, especially after being dethroned by the Prada backpack because of functionality and whatnot. But this bag ended up creating what was known as a waitlist at the time. Makes no sense, because it was just so many people that wanted it that it was basically hard to do. And of course, many of these brands are still doing the waitlist till this day. It's just the practicality of it is not there, in my opinion. But that's just me, again. So this bag, I want one, but it's very hard to get, as you can tell. Now, the final bag I want to talk about, and like this one, obviously, like, I feel like everyone saw this one coming, just because, you know, it's so iconic and it's quote unquote unattainable, I guess, if you want to say it. But it's the Hermes Birkin. Now, the reason why I want to include this one, I say that every collector needs to have this one in their collection, is because I feel like if you're gonna have something that's like an iconic collection, you're gonna want one of these expensive bags, one of these like unattainable bags. And I'm gonna get into it at the end, like, you know, how it actually can be attainable. But the Hermes Birkin was first introduced in 1984. 1984. Now, I feel like a lot of people think that the Birkin has been around for many years, and while yes, it has been around for a while, it's still a fairly new bag considering, like, you know, how unattainable it is and how unattainable, like, Hermes has kept it. So it's a fairly new bag, in my opinion at least. But it's one of the most expensive bags in the entire world. The most expensive bag has retailed at $500,000, a Himalayan Birkin with, I believe it had 24 karat white gold along with diamonds on the actual hardware. Again, retail for $500,000. It's genuinely outrageous, but honestly, this bag has been considered to be a better investment than stock and gold combined. A study done in 2017 actually proved that the Birkin's value has gone up 500% in the last 35 years, which is crazy because gold doesn't even go up that much, you know, as nearly as much as a Birkin bag, and it's just leather. Like, it's crazy in my opinion. But let me just give you a little background on the bag. I didn't give a background on the other bags just because I feel like those are more attainable, but the Hermes Birkin, I feel like it needs a background story. So again, we all know it was named after Jane Birkin, and this was because she would carry around a wicker basket. Well, on a flight back, I believe it was to Europe. I'm not entirely sure where she was going. She sat next to the chief executive of Hermes at the time, which was Jean-Louis Dumas. And when she tried to put her wicker basket in the overhead compartment, it ended up tipping over and everything spilled onto the, you know, inside. And she was very upset, you know, as one would be. And she complained to her, you know, seatmate, telling him that she hasn't been able to find a weekender bag that she likes, one. Two, that can actually hold everything she needs and closes without busting out or anything like that. Well, he ended up introducing himself, and the rest of the flight, they talked about different bag ideas. And in 1984, the Hermes Birkin was introduced. Now, it was not actually a very famous bag. Nobody really liked it. They thought it was ugly until the 90s, when a lot of like TV shows and more celebrities started using the bags, and they realized how unattainable this bag was. And at first, waitlists were created for this bag. Literally just went down the drain. Now you have to be either extremely famous and be offered to buy a Birkin, or spend enough money and still offered by the store to buy a Birkin. Now, not always do you have to, you know, spend a certain amount. Not always do you have to actually buy a retail bag. You don't always have to pay the MSRP for one of these Birkins. Now, there are secondhand websites that you can buy. Like I said in my previous video, you can use The RealReal, Tradesy, Fashionphile, Vestiaire. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize. But I recommend to go with The RealReal. There are actually a very, very, very credited sites. There has been multiple interviews from big fashion magazines and big fashion brands with The RealReal, and they tell you, like, you know, this is like how legit we are, and they have actual people doing stuff like this, you know, inspecting these bags to have that proof that it is a real bag. So these websites I highly recommend. I think the cheapest Birkin that I've seen on there is like $7,000, which again, I know it seems astronomical, but most of these Birkins that you see coming out of the store start off $10,000 and up, and just go up to $500,000. That's the most expensive bag that's been sold from Hermes. Again, you can buy MSRP, and I think they have like payment plans that you can do. So if you're one of these collectors and you don't have $100,000 sitting, you know, to the side of you, or like even if you just want like a Birkin to add to your collector's items and you don't want to pay the MSRP, I highly recommend these websites, and I'll again link them down in the description below. But that is it for the it bags in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I missed any bags. I know there's a large number of bags, especially now in recent months, that, you know, more have come out. I don't know. I do think that these bags are some of the more iconic bags and more it bags and more staple bags, I feel like, that a lot of these companies would stick with. But nevertheless, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know on Instagram. And yeah, if y'all like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit that little bell icon so you know when I upload new videos. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. And in my last video, I thanked you guys for subscribing and there being 49 subscribers. I got that wrong and I completely forgot to change and edit it. It went up to 59. And I thank you guys so much. You guys do not understand how much that means to me. Let's see if we can get it to 100, guys. But yes, thank you again so much. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.